Welcome into another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey here on this Thursday afternoon.
What it is.
Hope everybody's having a great. To me, Thursday's the last day of the week. So for me, Thursday's Friday. And so I started to say, hope everybody's having a great weekend. But a lot of people still have another day of work. I get that.
Yeah, man. Us people who have real jobs, you gotta let us work, man.
I know. It's been just a week of relaxation for me. I've done some yoga, some Pilates.
Did you really?
No.
Oh.
No.
Like, why would the hell would you do that?
Been sitting in here most of the week.
Yeah.
We're brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neal, I'm rocking with the Rain Storm Kiwi blend today.
Yeah.
Because I figured it's a little too late in the afternoon today. If I get going with this, if I hit the Red Dragon today, we would go a little longer than we intend to go.
Well, and you'd be doing household chores at 2:15 in the morning.
Yeah. And my mom and dad are coming in town.
Okay, good.
So, you know what I mean? So, but I love me some Kiwi blend. This is, like I said, man, it goes back and forth with a Kiwi blend and peach for me. It's good. Cooper Chevrolet chat's already bumping today, Neal, and my man Greg got it sent to me. Guys, you are in luck. Listen up. Truck season has been extended at Cooper Chevrolet through October the 16th. Remember that date, through October 16th, so you got to get going. This might be your last chance to get super low 3.9% financing for 72 months on the new Chevy Silverado Crew Cab, plus no payments for 90 days at Cooper Chevrolet in Anniston. Get more details at cooperchevrolet.com. And Neal, just in case you were curious, this show is also brought to you by Bushnell. It's hunting season, Neal, and Bushnell is known for quality optics for over 70 years in the hunting, shooting, and tactical categories. They sell a variety of optics products ranging from rifle scopes, spotting scopes, and binoculars, all the way to laser finders, range finders, and speed guns. So make sure you check it out. I'll get my guy Cole. He did a good job. He'll post it in the link on social media. The link you can go to until YouTube likes us again. There you go.
They like us. They just don't like our solicitation is what they call it.
Is that what they call it?
That's what they call it. No, they think it's spam, and it's not.
I think it's one of those.
Of course, I still have a strike from YouTube on MPW over saying that the pandemic was over. Now that it is.
Did they give it back to you?
No. Still a strike.
You know, the NFL, they changed their rules and regulations and penalties on the betting stuff, and what Jameson Williams is going to get to play this weekend. So seems like they should give you your strike back. The NFL can do it. YouTube can do it.
I feel like I should get my strike cleared.
In the NFL, Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV, they should use the same kind of.
All I said was mask didn't work and the pandemic's over. And you would think, now that I've been proven right, I'm just saying, YouTube.
They're just, it is what it is.
Kane Wommack will join us momentarily, the head coach of the South Alabama Jags. They've got a big trip to
where are they going, Neal?
Monroe, Louisiana.
So I'm
do you know Monroe's number 2 right now?
Number 2 in what?
We're number 2.
Number 2 in what?
Crime per capita.
Man, don't mess with. I got some friends that coach.
Number 2.
I got some friends that coach at ULM.
Probably not something they put on the recruiting sheet.
Yeah, well, we have a loyal listener from the ULM staff.
I know we do. Listen, ULM's on my short list here.
Oh boy,
we took App State. To the wire.
Kane's gonna wear you out. I do not have a good
record.
Tough
trip.
I do not. Is it Malone Stadium?
Yeah, it's Malone Stadium.
Okay, I do not have a great record in Malone Stadium.
I'm trying to think how many games I've been to in Malone Stadium. I would guess 5.
I think I'm like 1-5.
Are you?
Yeah. We did win the year we won at Arkansas State. Man, we were beating the death out of everybody. We had to block a punt with like 6 minutes to go. We blocked a punt. Scoop and scored to win the game. Don Jones.
So when I was a kid growing up, we'll talk about this with Kane. He might be interested. He might not.
He might be like, what the hell? I like the solo shot. I like your producer skills. Joining us now, live from the staff room in the great city of Mobile, Alabama, we have fellow 3-time world champion and also the head football coach of the South Alabama Jaguars, Kane Wommack. How we doing, brother?
Glad to be on. What's going on?
So today, if you can't tell, I'm bringing the power of rain to you today. That's my new trick.
Yeah. We were talking about having some North Louisiana conversation since you're headed that direction.
Yeah.
I was telling Tyler that as a kid growing up in Ruston, the Louisiana Tech, and this was in the 80s. This was when everything was Division 1AA. There was 1A and there was 1AA. And
right.
all those schools were 1AA. And they played in the Southland Conference.
Sure did. I got 3 Southland championship rings.
Yeah, it was Louisiana Tech, what was then Northeast Louisiana,
ULL.
But then it was called Southwestern Louisiana.
Yeah, that was when they were directional. Don't forget my demons.
North Texas, UT Arlington.
Don't forget my demons.
Northwestern State.
Yeah, let's go.
Lamar.
Fork 'em, demons.
Trying to think. Lamar, Arkansas State. Maybe somebody else. Yeah. But anyway, the Tech Northeast rivalry was intense. 30 minutes apart on I-20 was intense. So those are the games I remember at Malone Stadium. Those games were intense. And then ULM, then it was NLU. They won the 1AA national championship when I was a senior in high school. Pat Collins was the coach.
Hey, Kane.
Really?
Yeah. So here's my Pat Collins story. I was a big Louisiana Tech fan as a kid because I grew up down the street. And my dad taught at Tech, and we went to a Southland Conference basketball tournament. And we were across the street from the campus, and Pat Collins stopped me and a couple of my friends and gave us a ride back to Ewing Coliseum. We were all like,
really?
Yeah,
wow.
That was pretty cool. I thought I was in the presence of a celebrity at that point. Years later, Pat Collins would be the head coach at Ouachita Parish High School, so not quite as much as I thought, but there you go.
Hey, you need to get Kane. You need to get your dad to tell you the story if you haven't heard it already about when he was DC at Arkansas State, and we went down there. Yeah. We went to ULM and won. Don Jones blocks a punt, or you can get Corey Batoon to tell it to you. Don Jones blocks a punt with fourth quarter, and he scoops and scores. When you start your coordinator meetings after you get off here, ask Corey Batoon to tell you the Don Jones media story when he spoke to the media on the microphone. Have you heard the story?
Well, I can already imagine. I mean, Neal, Don Jones was a freak of nature. I mean, he was an incredible the Huskies that we've had over the years and stuff at our nickel position. I mean, he's got to be one of the most gifted of all time. Was pretty cool, but a strong country accent.
Yeah, he dropped the F-bomb and said shit.
Oh no.
And said shit on a TV interview, okay?
Yeah.
He's got such a country accent that nobody picked it up what he was saying, and they just ran it all week on TV.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what do you have planned in Monroe? I mean, there's a lot of scenery there, a lot to do. I mean, you can go to Sal's Saloon maybe on Friday night. You can go to the Mohawk, get you some seafood. It's not really crawfish season. I mean, I know you got a game to prepare for and blah blah blah, but you're in Monroe. I mean, it's a tourist trap. What do you have planned?
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know how we're going to fit it all in. With the game too. So, with all the stops that we need to hit. It's like Disney World, right? There's not enough to see in one weekend. So.
It is. Are you a water skier? Do you water ski by chance?
I am a water skier.
Yeah, well, we've got so much water skiing there. You can ski on Bayou de Seard. You can ski on the Ouachita River. It's a little risky. You don't really. If you fall, make sure you close your mouth. But you can ski.
Here.
There's a paper mill in West Monroe. You can go over to West Monroe and just breathe the air. It's really fantastic. I have a
great
place to grow up.
I got to be honest. I have a rule though about skiing. So I grew up skiing. My dad, grew up on Table Rock Lake, Branson, Missouri, where Bass Pro Shop originated. All that stuff. And I've got this beautiful single wooden ski that my dad gave to me and all that stuff. I love skiing. I love going skiing. But if I know that an alligator is in that water potentially, I'm not going.
There's no chance.
So
I mean,
there's a few gators in those waters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no way that I'm going skiing in that area. Yeah.
That's what when Kane and I played in the same golf tournament this past spring at Kiva Dunes, and it was Joey Jones's golf tournament down there. There is I didn't, just not used to it, but there is a pond out there that a gator's in, and I didn't see him this time, but I've been to Kiva Dunes before when you roll up in the fairway and there's a freaking legit gator sitting.
Just hanging out on the fairway.
Don't play with them, man. I don't play with snakes, ghosts, sharks, gators. That's about my list.
The list is growing, by the way. The list is definitely.
It just keeps growing.
What did I add to it? You hate snakes.
Yeah,
I'm definitely afraid of them.
Can I tell the story about me scaring you with a snake and you getting so mad you want to fight me? Can I tell that story?
Yeah, sure.
So when
I would be so.
Yeah, that was pretty much the story. I mean, that was the story.
So Kane is terrified of snakes, and so Kane's desk when he was defensive coordinator, his desk was it was also defensive staff room at the same time, so he had a lot of room, and he's locked in. It was bad timing too because I don't remember what happened.
There's never good timing for that.
And so if we were in serious mode, I think, we got a rubber snake and put it under his where his seat, where his feet would go, in his desk. And then
you only have one heart.
The offensive staff room's right next door. And so we just kind of went back in there and started, and it's thin walls. He started saying some very, very crude and ugly things to me when through the wall.
You deserved every bit of it.
You deserved every bit of it. I mean, actually, I've gotten, so I probably shouldn't say this, but I because of moments like that, now that I'm a head coach, I threaten my staff every year to let them know how, if that happens, I have a lot more power than I did back then. So just to deter anybody from doing something like that. I mean, Neal, when I say deathly afraid, I'm deathly afraid of snakes.
Oh, I took on a king snake outside thinking it was something else. And my wife was like, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe it, because I wake up at least once every 2 weeks. I have a dream about snakes where I wake up screaming, like just bloody murder. And my wife's up and she's like, you son of a bitch. And
we may
like,
get you some better help if it's twice a week.
But once every 2 weeks. And I'm like, I should just go sleep upstairs. I mean, I really should. This is not fair to everybody. But I'm like, I don't mean to have a dream about a cobra. That's not intentional. I don't go to bed and go, you know what I hope to do tonight? I hope I have a dream that tonight a cobra is chasing me. That's what I want. I want to have that dream. Let's do that. That's not ever the plan going in, right?
No, it's debilitating.
Yeah.
All right, I want to ask you some serious questions. I wanted to fit these in here. I have not talked to you about this. But I was going to ask you, the NCAA came out with the governance and guidelines and are going to change some things. I just want to get your thoughts on it as a head coach.
Yep.
First thing was, which we have been, and that is we as in the McCready and Siskey podcast, are very, I think it would be the way to fix all this mess. Part of the solution would be to make all NIL deals transparent. You're obviously in a different situation being a head coach and all that stuff. So I was just curious, would you be, if they asked you about it and you got your opinion on it, would you be in support of having all NIL deals to be transparent?
Well, I think we need market value. And when we get a market value, I think, there's probably going to have to be some transparency to get a market value to understand, basically, hey, this is what, if you're a left tackle in the SEC and you're a starter and a producer and a whatever it is, this is kind of the area, that you're going to be compensated for that, right? Through name, image, and likeness opportunities. Some of it is social media based. Some of it is, what you produce, all these things, right, that go into it. And so for me, I think we're going to have some transparency in order to get to market value. Like transparency is not the main issue. It's the market value. And you have to have transparency in order to do that. And like the model's already there in some ways, right? I mean, we've seen the model in a number of things, but the NFL is a piece of it too. Obviously, we're a little bit different because the organization itself is not compensating those players, right? It's not the universities that are compensating these student athletes, but entities that have an investment in the individual and probably obviously the university, of course, as well. But until we get some transparency, we're never going to have market value. And if you don't have market value, then you are, what someone pays for a young man that is in the portal, to come, from one institution to another, or for their services, whatever it may be, even from a social media standpoint, like then all of a sudden now these, you're going to have street agents that are basically declaring the amount of money that's going to be out there. You're going to have, young men that are saying, hey, this is what, it costs for me to come play here, which obviously the pay for play stuff, that's the problem in the first place, but I think until we have transparency, I think we're never going to have a market value.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head. That's obviously I'm not telling you anything you don't know. One of the other big problems is you got street agents out here, these kids, they're the ones driving the freaking market price up by the freaking line. You got to have transparency so everybody knows what's what. So I was wanting to get your take on that.
See where every Utah player got a truck?
I heard. Kane, what we doing? We got McConnell on board down there in Mobile, or what are we doing?
Wow. Hey, everybody got a truck, huh?
All 85 scholarship players.
I read a little bit more about it. Everybody got a truck. It's a lease, and you have it as long as you're on scholarship. Your lease expires if you transfer or when your eligibility expires.
Every 6 months it's renewed.
Okay.
It's really low-key smart by the dealership, because now they get, with everybody going on strike, they're going to be able to bump up their used cars out of the dealership.
Yeah. Well, I do think I think people are going to go at this a lot of different ways, right? And they're going to do things, and some of it is you hear the pay for play issues. Some of it is retention of your team. Some of it is what actually based off of social media platforms and influence platforms, right? That a young man can provide for a business, right? There's going to be a number of reasons why a student athlete gets compensated. But the scary thing to me is when you have someone else dictating what someone is compensated on for whatever reason and whatever scale, that doesn't know the market and is able to kind of dictate, hey, this is, what it may cost for this person's services, and so I think from that perspective, until we have some transparency there, you're going to have a he said, type of market. And I think that's a bad place for everybody.
All right. Got one more question for you. I know, I don't even know if anybody's, I know you've so locked in this week. You probably didn't see this either, but are you going to be okay? I just want to check and see if your emotions are going to be okay. Are you going to be able to recruit and do things that you need to do moving forward now that it is being proposed and will go through? But you can no longer do full photo shoots unless you're on an official visit. Does that break your heart as a coach?
Yeah. Well, I will say it was brought up in the off season. I think it was pretty much unanimous of the Sun Belt head coaches, and I'm also on I'm on the AFCA board of trustees for the Sun Belt, and so all the coaches that were there representing each conference, I think we were all pretty much unanimous on this thing that we would like to not do the photo shoots. I hope that continues, but when we're dealing with these things, and it's always the loophole that I worry about, right? Like, we can't do the photo shoot, but you can provide them outfits, right? And then outfits are now mom can take a picture, or we can hire our own photographer to come in and take pictures at your stadium. Like, that's what I worry about, right? Is like, they find a way to make this actually a harder issue than what it is. But I really, really hope that we all just play by the rules on this, and that we just say, look, we can't provide photo shoots, we can't provide jerseys, these things.
I was so surprised yesterday at how many people were like, I don't understand. What's the big deal with the
That tells you and it's everything you need to know.
It's like, that's all I needed to know. You don't understand, not even a little bit. You don't get it. They also don't get that the people that are, because they always do the thing of, look, man, you're making $11 million. You can take a couple of photos. It's like, yeah, dumbass, but that's not who's doing it. The people that end up working 20 hours that day and deal with all the headaches are the people at the bottom of the food chain that are either working their way up, or they're the support staff people who aren't making any. It's stupid.
All right, so I told this on MPW when we had the show on MPW Digital, and I'm pretty sure I told the story, but Kane wasn't doing the interview when I was doing it. When you got a problem, it's 2019. We're playing LSU. All right, big game. That was the year they won the national championship. They were really good. We were in the middle of a comeback in the third quarter. We were cutting the score. I mean, it was a vital part of the game. We cut it to like 8 points or something in the third quarter, and I get a tap on my shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, coach, if you're looking for me, I got to go inside." I was like, "For what?" He's like, "I won't name the 2 kids, but it was 2 kids we were recruiting out of Memphis that we got crushed on because we didn't take them. They wanted to go inside in the middle of the third quarter and do a photo shoot. In the middle of the third quarter. In the middle of the game." And you're like, I'm like, I literally, just so everybody knows, I literally took those kids off the board the next day. Stopped recruiting them, the whole deal. And guess what? I wasn't wrong, because they've both gone to about 5 different institutions and they yet to see the field. So I wasn't wrong on them. But all you gurus out there that think all 5 stars live in Memphis, there you go. So, but I mean, it's like, bothers me, man.
Well, I do think, here's what I think. I think a head coach should be responsible for protecting his support staff, right, in the off season. And some people are going to abide by those rules. Other people, are not, and they're going to grind, and it is what it is. And especially at a group of 5 institution, right? If I let every weekend open for somebody to come in and do a photo shoot and do an on-campus visit and all those things, even though recruiting-wise it's allowed, right? It's a period where a young man can come visit on campus. If I open that up every time, I think we'd have an issue. So, what I've proposed is like, let's get in a position where we have a certain amount of weekends that we have to observe as off for all of us. Our campus is closed for individuals, and it's not just, hey, this is a dead period for everybody, because every institution, every university has kind of their own calendar, right? They got some of their own things that they're trying to navigate around of what might be a good weekend for them to host unofficial visits. But I think, basically say, look, hey, there's, 8 or 9 spring weekends, right? From January to June, right? That we want to make sure that we protect. And out of those, you choose them as is. But I think at the end of the day, I think more than just taking away photo shoots, we got to make sure that we're doing a good job of protecting some of the quality of life for our support staff.
That's I really hope. Are you proposing that in the AFCA?
No, I have brought it up in our AFCA meetings and our Sunbelt meetings, and so we'll continue to kind of work some of those things.
Otherwise, a lot of the mental health talk is lip service. I mean, honestly, it's lip service. If you're working people 330 to 345 days a year, you're not worried about their mental health. And so when you turn around and say that you are, it's like, you're not.
Well, here's the problem, and Kane knows this, and I want the fans to know this too. The problem is not working, right? In my opinion, if I don't mind recruiting on Saturday, if I need to come in, if we got a guy that we actually want that's there,
right?
What it turns into though is you say, hey, we're going, and this is my opinion. I can say this now that I'm not coaching anymore. In my opinion, sometimes you have staffs where assistant coaches would over bring in kids that we're not recruiting, so it would look like that they're doing a good job in recruiting. They're bringing a bunch of kids to campus, and you would end up with a group of 30 kids when you're really only wanting to sign 3 or 4 of them. Okay, well, instead of saying, okay, I'll help you out with this, they dump them on the recruiting staff or whoever, and now you're overwhelmed and you can't do the job for the 3 or 4 that you're trying to do the job for,
right,
because you're trying to entertain 27 players that will never play college football. So, for what we did, we went to, and Kane knows this, it's no secret, but when I came back to Ole Miss the second time, I was going to work regardless. Matt was going to be in there with guys, but we would go offensive guys one week, defensive guys, so at least half the staff could get out and enjoy their family for a weekend, and we would rotate them out. So, but yeah, I would be all for that, man. I think that would be great for recruiting staffs, because that's the position that's getting burnt out. At the end of the day.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction for sure, but I think until we say, look, we're going to protect certain weekends, and you can choose what those weekends are. What those dates are that you want to say, look, we're not going to have anybody in the building legally, through guidelines, through the NCAA, whatever. We're not going to allow people on this weekend, that weekend, and that weekend. And that way it makes it uniform. If we're really invested into the health and wellness of not only our student athletes, but the people that are going to have influence over those student athletes, day in and day out, we can't burn them out in the offseason, and support staffs are always going to have the biggest challenge in that.
And I think it's very important for the fan, because like you said, Neal, they're going to go, well, you're making $11 million, you should do that. Well, this hasn't always been the case. This is a new thing. I mean, the first, 12, 15 years of my career, you used to have the big junior days.
Yeah.
But you didn't have people every single weekend. You know what I mean? Like, it's turned into every single – if you want to, you can have somebody on campus every single weekend now.
And they basically do.
And they do. A lot of them do. So,
yeah.
Last thing, I know you got to go. This is one of those games, all jokes aside about Monroe and ULM and all that. I had a great graduate school experience there. I have a master's there. Both of my parents got their undergrad there. I have a lot of fond things to say about ULM. But that being said, this is a game where you have to bring your own energy. They're not going to have 35,000 people packed into the stands. Is that a challenge for a coach?
Well, I think Cisco knows, like, it's been a hard place to play. I think their players do a tremendous job of creating a lot of energy, a lot of momentum on their sideline. I have seen their sideline take over a game, and they don't have. I think there was a time where there was 25,000+ fans and all that stuff that were at some of those games. You may not have quite that many. But I do feel like, that is a place that has really just been challenging to go play. Specifically, for our program, we've never won over there before. And so, some of it is, maybe some of the fans, some of it is, I think their players do a great job at home. They create a lot of energy on their sideline. Some of it is, locker room accommodations are maybe the worst in FBS.
Where do you stay?
It's like an old. We used to stay at an
old
out on
Holiday Inn. On 165, like the old Holiday Inn.
We used to stay at that. I don't know what y'all staying at.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some newer places and all that, but just even
that
some of the locker room stuff is just tight and old and all those things, right? So all those things go into, at the end of the day, you gotta bring your own juice, and you got to make sure that your players are locked in to execute with the most amount of consistency as possible. And so that will be our challenge. I've had 2 really difficult losses there, once in 2016 with Tyler, and another one in 2021, my first year as the head coach. And so, on a professional level, right, as a head coach, every game matters. The next one is the most important game, and that certainly is the case. But on a personal level, I've had this one circled for a long time.
The locker room has been the same since your dad was just a glimmer in your granddad's eye.
Probably the same locker room setup as it was when my uncle was the quarterback there.
100%.
Probably exactly that.
Dude,
in the 50s.
I learned my lesson the first time we were there. It's literally the same every year I've ever gone. So I think the first time I went was 2001 or 2. I can't remember, but they have a curtain they put in the hallway that's supposed to separate things, but you got to like walk in here, take a shower as a coach or whatever. Dude, I walked through there like after the game. I was pissed. We got beat. I'm like 1-5 there. I think that was I tried to look at my record. And walked through there just butt naked. And I walked out in the hallway. It was just freaking people everywhere. I was like, whoa, the wrong one. I got to turn around and go the other direction. I was like, whoa. They just open the door. You go to the shower. You literally have to go to the shower with a towel wrapped around through the hallway. And there's just people, media, fans, moms, dads, uncles, sisters, just everybody in the hallway. I'm like, just wave at everybody. It's kind
of a laid back atmosphere.
Me and old
Louisiana.
tripod.
Yeah.
All right. I got to run, gang.
See ya.
All right. Be good, brother.
See you guys.
You know, how you had to go after that one.
Yeah. I was trying to leave with him. I'm trying to figure out how do I get in the portal.
Oh, I love the guy. No, it's a.
All right, so I'm scratching that one off my list.
Give it a little. Got some ink going on.
When the
there.
coach says I got that one circled, I'm like, okay, that's all. I had ULM plus 13 on my list of possibilities.
I'm so terrible at this. All right, here we go. It's just really, it really is. It's a very difficult place to play. All right, Neal, do you know what
there was a time? All jokes aside, there was a time in the 80s, especially, when they got big crowds there, and it's an unpopular thing to say, but football in that part of the country was more popular and more exciting when they were 1AA. And I get why they all went 1A.
You are 100% correct, by the way.
Because here's why. And I'll be quick with this. It's not sentimental, but stuff I remember, okay? I can remember our house was probably 4 miles, maybe, from Joe IA Stadium. And I can remember going to games. And because that's who they played against all the time.
There you go.
That was the world.
Yes.
And I've told you before, I can remember going with my church group on Saturdays in October. We would go to Shreveport to the state fair, and they would play Northwestern in the state fair game. And I remember those games. That was fun as a kid in Louisiana. I remember the Northeast game, which is now ULM, being a rivalry. It was a rivalry. I mean, it was a big deal. You went to that game, and not only did you go to that game, you cared about the outcome of that game. But I can remember Louisiana Tech making the 1AA playoffs. I lived next door to Mickey Merritt in Ruston. He was on Billy Brewer's staff at Tech. I think he followed him to Ole Miss. But they lived next door to us. And his son, Kerry, was older than me. But I can remember Ruston High was in the state championship at the Superdome. And Tech played a 1AA national semifinal game, I think against Delaware that day in Ruston, and lost. But Coach Merritt was able to get down to New Orleans in time to see Kerry play in the state title game that night. But I can remember going to see Louisiana Tech in a 1AA playoff game against Mississippi Valley. Jerry Rice was on that team. And then it was just fun. Those were exciting games. There was a game they played against somebody. I want to say it was like Old Dominion or somebody, but I can't remember. But, man, the stadium at Tech was packed out. You would have thought they were playing for a right to go to the Sugar Bowl. It was a big deal. And you don't have that anymore at those places. And instead what you have, if you watch some of those games on TV, is you have these 1/3 filled stadiums, and they look dead. They sound dead. And frankly, there's a little part of me. It's a very small part. Don't get me wrong. It's a long time ago. There's a little part of me that finds it depressing.
Yeah. So
McNeese, by the way, was the other team that they used to play.
Well, that's what I was about to say. So it's not just Monroe.
Yeah, Willie Totten was the quarterback. Yep.
But back then in the 90s, and this is, when the Southland, you had teams like La Tech decided to go FBS, ULL following right behind there. But in the late 80s and early 90s, you had La Tech, you had Monroe, you had Northwestern State, you had McNeese, you had Nichols,
Nichols,
you had all of these teams.
Lamar.
You had Lamar, you had all these teams, and then you had, Stephen F. Austin, who's right across the border.
Yep.
Okay. You had all these teams playing in the same league, all recruiting the same kids. And so it created this rivalry year round.
Yeah.
And when people started leaving and moving off, it kind of just started dying down. And then what I was getting at was I'm 100% in agreement with you. Once they left 1AA to go to FBS, there has been this push to where, hey, we're FBS, we're Division I, right? And so now you're competing against the same attention that LSU's getting. You're never going to get that attention in that state.
Nope.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like you had this on
100%.
Dude, McNeese, I'm being dead serious. McNeese State, and I don't know how it is now, but when I was at Northwestern State, even as late as like 10 years ago, they would sell out for a long time, sell out at home. And then their road travel was better than some of the road travels in the FBS. They support that, both teams.
Yeah.
And people made it a conscious effort back then, before TV got involved. All of these, what I used to call directional schools in Louisiana, made a conscious effort to play on the other side of LSU. And so they were able to get support to the games. And now with TV involved, can't do that.
Yep.
All right, Neal, do you know what time it is?
It's time to make some picks.
It's time to make it rain. Thursday. All right.
All right.
Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
You go first.
All right, Neal.
Because I'm still searching for a couple.
Neal, I'm going to put my perfect Thursday, Monday night football record on the line tonight.
Oh, wow.
But I'm not doing it in the NFL. I'm doing it in college.
Okay.
I'm 9-0-1 on this show on Thursday and Monday nights.
Well, I think I know where you're going.
And I'm willing, probably my favorite pick of the week, and I'm starting it off tonight. I'm taking the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers.
You're going to Ruston.
That are going to Ruston, Louisiana, since we were just talking about them. I'm taking the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers -6.
It's a good pick.
At La Tech. Look, La Tech really has the record looks good, but they haven't really played anybody. Western Kentucky has played people, and they're running through people. I think Western Kentucky beats the brakes off La Tech tonight. I'm putting my record on line. Western Kentucky -6 tonight at La Tech.
Okay. I'm going to go out west for our first game. Washington State heads to UCLA. The Bruins are at home. Doesn't mean a whole lot. Speaking of empty stadiums. Bruins are at home in the Rose Bowl. Washington State's getting 3.5 points. I think they've got the wrong team favored here. Give me the Cougars and 3.5.
All right, I'll go ahead and talk about this one very briefly since it's on my list of others.
All right.
I am betting this game. I am betting with you. This is me personally.
Yep.
Not on the show. I feel like it's a trap. This is one of those games everybody's worried about. If you look at the power rankings, I don't know if you saw that. They actually thought that UCLA should be favored by 8, which I just don't see. I'm with you. I'm probably going, even on my personal money, sprinkle the money line on this game. I agree. That's a good pick. All right, Neal, my second pick. Very similar. Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, are going to Louisville. Notre Dame is favored by 6.5, Neal, at Louisville. Battle of top 25 teams. Louisville's got a weak schedule. Well, it's not weak this week. And Neal, Notre Dame is favored by 6.5. And guess what? It's not enough.
Wow.
Give me Notre Dame all over. I'm going to look. I even got Mr. Rain upset. Give me Notre Dame all over. This is going to be an easy cover.
Wow. The computers do not agree with you.
Screw a computer.
Okay.
This is why.
All right.
Notre Dame -6.5. Crush it. That's pick number 2 for me.
Okay. That's interesting. It's interesting. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm going Big Ten now. I was at home. They're 4-1. I know they just lost their quarterback. They're going to go with Deacon Hill this week at quarterback against Purdue. Here's the problem for Purdue is Purdue can't score on bad teams. They won't score on good defenses. I was only giving 2.5. I was going to win this game by 3 or more. Give me the Hawkeyes -2.5. First time I've done it all year.
I think you're going to lose this game.
Okay.
Because I think the final score is going to be 2-0.
Could be. I think it's going to be 3-0.
Out of curiosity, what's the total on this game? It has to be in the mid to low 30s.
Let me find it. The Iowa total. I'm looking for it.
I mean,
Let's see.
it may be in the 20s. It's got to be like 32.
I'm looking. Purdue. Where are you, Purdue? Where's the damn game?
They don't even want to play it. They don't want to put it on their website.
They're embarrassed that people are actually betting it. The over-under on this is 39.
There's no way in hell that's getting to 39. You got a backup quarterback. Your starting quarterback can't score 24 points. What do you think? So seriously, think about this. Your starting quarterback can't score 24 points. So you're going to put your backup quarterback in there. And we know what's that? You know Purdue's not going to score that many points. Dude, I'm taking it. I'm going to bet that on my own. I'm adding that to my sheet. Under. That's free money, dude. All right. That's bad. All right, Neal, my third game.
Yep.
The Alabama Crimson Tide are traveling to College Station.
They are.
This line has dropped.
It has.
To 1.5.
1.5.
They're playing the Texas A&M Aggies.
Jimbo Fisher.
Neal,
yep.
Alabama is favored by 1.5.
Yep.
And it's not enough. Give me Alabama minus 1.5. Look, it didn't work out for this guy across the street about 2 weeks ago. Don't poke the bear. Don't give him any motivation. They're talking so much trash in the media. Don't do that. Bad idea. Alabama, I was kind of like, went back and watched the game versus Mississippi State really close this week. Starting to find something. Nick's getting pissed again. And look, when my man gets pissed again, good things happen. You'll never get Alabama this cheap again. You're never going to get them this cheap again. Give me Alabama minus 1.5 against Texas A&M.
Tyler, I don't know if you heard, but Texas A&M is hosting Alabama on Saturday.
I did hear that. I think I just heard it a second ago.
Texas A&M is a 1.5-point underdog at home.
I heard this.
So I've been talking to people.
Me too.
They got the wrong team favored. Texas A&M wins straight up over Alabama. I'll take the Aggies and the 1.5.
Wow. Really?
Texas A&M plus a 1.5.
Okay. That's a 2-unit swing. You know that?
I understand.
It's a 2-unit swing in the old competition.
I think
now we got a competition.
I think when you talk about teams putting it together, the one over there with the maroon and the guy cheerleaders and all the weirdness, I think they're putting it together too.
Oh, I do. I think they're good.
I think this is going to be a hell of a football game.
I really do. I think it's going to be a great football game. The one thing that does concern me, why I ended up going with Alabama over Texas A&M is Max Johnson, as good as he is not. He will throw one up. You know, he turned the ball over 3 times. They can't turn the ball over in this game. I think they'll turn it over a couple times. All right, but I think it'll be a great game. All right, Neal, 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. The Oklahoma Sooners.
Oh, you're going there too. Okay, this is about to get interesting. Go ahead.
The Oklahoma Sooners are getting 6.5 points against Texas.
Is it 6.5 now?
Yeah, that's what I had it this morning.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I checked it about 10 o'clock probably when I wrote this out.
It's 5.5.
It's 5.5.
5.5.
You know what that means? It's a point. That's a point movement.
Yeah, money coming in on the Sooners.
I think this is going to be an unbelievable, exciting game. I'm locked in. My interest level is 100 out of 100 on this game.
Over under on this is 60.5.
I got it at 60, but that's fine. Because that's where I'm going, Neal.
Oh.
I'm taking the Texas and Oklahoma over.
Over.
I got it over 60, over 60.5. It doesn't matter. I'm taking the over in this game. I got it at 60. I'm going to steal my 60 point. What site do you look up on there?
I'm on DraftKings.
Yeah. I'm on, I think I was on MGM, I think is what it was. I'm taking the over at 60 points against in the Texas-Oklahoma game. I think it's going to be a ton of points scored. The only thing that what this game is going to be decided by is Texas has been leaning on people and running the ball effectively. Oklahoma has yet to give up a rushing TD this season. So something's got to give.
Yeah.
So I'm taking it over at 60. I think points will be scored.
My next pick is less of a pick and more of a tip of the cap to a certain school.
Is it my boys?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. It's a tip of the cap to a school that said, hey, NCAA, eat it. We're going to sue you because that's the only way to beat the NCAA is you have to tell them, we'll sue you. We'll take you to court. We'll sue you because they will relent. Earlier today, it was announced that North Carolina's wide receiver, I can't think of his name right now, Tez,
Yes,
who should have been cleared in the first place, did everything right, wanted to play, didn't get to play one of his years because of COVID, because of all the nonsense. This hits me on so many levels that I really don't care if I lose this game.
okay.
If you get this one, I'll just say, great, congrats. If this ends up me having to go to Kalamazoo, Michigan, and figure out how to get home, it's worth it. Give me North Carolina minus 9.5 at home against Syracuse.
They are one of the quick you clients, North Carolina Tar Heels.
This kid should have been cleared in the first place.
So he got cleared.
He got cleared. The only reason he transferred the first time was because his school didn't play. I think he was at North Carolina Central. And they didn't get to play because of all the COVID nonsense. Remember Dennis died? People are going to die on the field with COVID. Nobody died, Dennis. Remember this? We can't play. It's just too damn dangerous, isn't it, Dennis? Isn't it, Nicole? It's just too dangerous. This is the worst day in the history of the Big Ten. Isn't it, Nicole? Shut up. Kid should have been cleared. He should have been allowed to play. And once he transferred, it's not like he transferred because he wasn't getting playing time. He transferred because his team literally wasn't playing football. He didn't do anything wrong. And then he went to one of the MAC schools. And he played really, really well. He got in the portal and he returned home. He went back to North Carolina. That's who he wanted to play for in the first place. They didn't offer him a scholarship out of high school because he wasn't ready, apparently. Or they misevaluated. It happens. No big deal. No harm, no foul. Then he proves himself. They offer him a scholarship. He transfers to North Carolina, and he clears himself to be able to play. And the NCAA goes, no, no. We really don't care about the issues. We just don't care. So I hope he scores 4 touchdowns. I hope they win by 1,000 points. I hope his family is there. I hope the weather is perfect. I hope they have the most incredible day. And I hope everybody gets down on the field after the game and they take a family picture and everybody smiles at the exact right time and nobody blinks. And it ends up being this fantastic family photo. And guys, if you get one, send me one. Autograph it. I'd love to have it. I'll put it in my office. I hope this kid.
I can get that done for you.
I hope this kid has the most special rest of the season. I hope he has the greatest day. I am this kid's biggest freaking fan this weekend. I hope he has an absolutely amazing rest of the season.
Do you want me to get you a photo autographed by the kid so you can put it in the studio?
Yes.
I can get that done tomorrow.
Yes. I hope, and I'm for him. I'm for his family. I hope that everybody, grandmothers and uncles and aunts and cousins and brothers and sisters and best friends, I hope everybody can get their favorite powder blue thing and go take a big picture on the field after the game with everybody smiling and not blinking and the whole deal. And it's just awesome. I hope he has an amazing day. And Mac Brown was right. Mac Brown was right when he attacked the NCAA. North Carolina fought back, and that's how you win. Kudos to the kid. I'm happy for him, if you can't tell.
That's the best line you said. I'm happy for you, in case you can't tell. You have to do what you got in your drink over there, boss.
Just Everclear. I mean, I'm good. No, it's frustrating.
It's all good.
So stupid.
Hey, it's all good.
Nobody died, Dennis.
All right, you ready for me to go? Or you?
Yep, go ahead.
You got
I'm done.
more?
I'm finished.
Okay, I'm just letting you go, baby. All right. I love when.
And if I lose that one, I lose it. I don't care. I'm kind of like you with Colorado. It is what it is. Go. I hope if they only win by 9, people's going to go, oh, you almost got up. I don't care. It's a win. Him getting to play is a win.
All right, Neal. My 5th pick, the Kentucky Wildcats are going to Athens, Georgia.
Yes.
Georgia is favored by 14.5 in this game. 14 and a hook. And Neal, guess what?
I don't know.
It's too much.
Oh,
you're with
me.
Give me the Kentucky Wildcats.
I like that.
Plus 14.5. This is a huge, huge half a point. This has backdoor McCready written all over it, even if Georgia gets out on them. Look, Georgia scored 27 against against Auburn when they were trying to run the ball. I think Georgia, I see this being real similar to South Carolina, like a 24-14 game. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer than that. Georgia has had difficulty stopping the run. They do have a blueprint in that defense of how to run read zone. You know, the key against that defense, and I'm sorry if some of you guys that run that defense or listen to the show, but if you want to run read zone against that defense, the way they add people from the back end, you have to do it with 2 cruisers, not one. So you get one for the wheel and one for the weak safety, and you can pull forever. I think Kentucky will see that. Give me Kentucky plus 14.5 against the Georgia Bulldogs.
Okay. My next game, I have a less passionate feeling about this. Rice is 13th in the nation in passing offense.
You know who their quarterback is, don't you?
JT Daniels.
Yeah, at his 46 school.
UConn, on the other hand, is really bad against the pass. Give me Rice minus 9.5 at home against the Huskies.
I like it.
There you go. You didn't see me picking Rice, did you? You didn't think that. You didn't think that one was coming. We have a guest heading into the studio. You can, yeah, the guest.
Hello, Neal.
Hello.
How we doing today, Scoops?
Good, Joker. Bob's like, hey, just put the sign down.
Yeah, just put the sign down, Scoops. Scoops, it's been a long week in Gotham. Long week. I'd like to give a shout out to the few trolls that showed back up on TikTok this week because they probably feel like Colorado's got a chance to win. Colorado, Neal, they're favored by 4 points against Arizona State. This will be Arizona State's Super Bowl.
Okay.
They will be ready. They will be ready for all the personal. It's personal. It's personal.
Is it personal this week?
It's personal this week.
Okay.
And Neal, my man, Kenny Dillingham, will have the Sun Devils ready to go. They will play hard. And just like you and I could go and play against the Colorado defense and score 64 points, so will Arizona State. So my moneyline pick, or AKA the Joker's moneyline pick this week, Scoops, is the Joker is taking Arizona State moneyline plus 150 to win outright at home
against the Buffs.
Against the Buffs.
Okay.
Against all the haters.
Okay.
Because really what's going to happen is they're going to get down in that heat, and the 6 masks that they're having to wear on the field, it's going to restrict their breathing.
Yeah.
And it's going to negate all of the altitude training they've been doing. So give me Arizona State at sea level to beat that ass.
All right. Arizona State money line. Gotcha, Joker.
All right, Scoops. See you Monday.
See you Monday. All right. That's Tyler's money line pick via the Joker is Arizona State. I'm going a little Sunbelt money line action here. And no, it's not ULM. Thought about it. Could have gotten ULM money line. It was like plus 3 something. I'm going with Marshall. Marshall's going to NC State. Charles Huff doing a hell of a job in Huntington.
He is.
Getting his name on a bunch of lists. His team's playing with a ton of confidence. NC State's struggling a little bit. They look kind of pedestrian.
So they're going with a backup quarterback, Armstrong. They're sitting him, and they're going to go with a backup quarterback this week.
NC State?
Yes.
Yeah. Give me Marshall at plus 215 as my money line. Marshall, the Thundering Herd, plus 215 in Raleigh.
I thought this is where you were going, but you didn't. Extremely quickly, because you guys like to hear the other stuff that I'm actually personally betting on. So this is not in the picks. I was wondering if you got any of these on your list.
All right.
I'm taking Texas State plus 2.5 at ULL, like that game.
I looked at that one. Didn't go there.
I love this one. I can't believe I didn't pick this one for the show. Old Dominion plus 1.5 at Southern Miss. Just after what we talked about on the show the other day, I think there's going to be some issues there.
I didn't do it because I didn't want to look like I was piling on a mutual friend.
All right, Virginia Tech is on the road at FSU.
My friend Corey Clark and Will Hall are really good friends, and I didn't want to do something where it got back to Will that I was picking against him.
Yeah. Virginia Tech is at FSU. FSU's is favored by 24 points. That's not enough.
No, they could run that.
And they've had a bye week, coming off a bye week. There's not going to be a lookover spot. I think they blow the doors off Virginia Tech.
You like Maryland plus the 20? I thought about it because I've ridden them for so long.
I'm going to put a unit on it.
Yeah, I worry about it just a little bit because this is a big step up in competition for them.
Here's the deal. They haven't really played very many people, but if you want to look at like a comparison, they did play Ohio State. I'm talking about when they played Indiana, they couldn't do anything offensively.
Yeah.
Now, they're so good on defense, so that's going to be the matchup. But I think Maryland's got to score 10 points to cover that line.
And then I'll be honest, you talked about LSU, Missouri. Based on what I'm looking at here, you were thinking about one side of the line. I almost took the other.
All right, let me see what I'm going to say here. This was on my pool. I'm no longer betting this game. I was going to take LSU minus 5.5. I'm no longer betting this game. You can take that for what you want to take it for. If I bet it, I'm betting it the other way. But I probably won't bet it. I just don't think. First of all,
I'll tell you this. I've had this feeling all week. It hasn't gone away, and I watched the LSU sideline a lot on Saturday. Something's up, and I've watched Missouri a lot this year, and everybody goes, "Yeah, Missouri. They struggled with Memphis. They struggled with whatever. You know what? They're winning."
What's the total? I'll look at it while you're talking.
It's like 66.5 in that ballpark.
I'll look at it while you're talking.
I've got it right here. I kind of like Missouri to win this game.
I will say this. I think the issues
are 64.5.
I think the issues are one-sided. If I bet this game, I'm going to take the over. Personally, I'm not going to bet the line anymore. I would take the over.
I know what you're saying.
I think the issues are one-sided.
It's on one side of the ball. LSU. Yeah.
So I'm taking – it's not on the other side. I'm taking over.
Brady 64. Cook has played well, and Luther Burden might be the best receiver in the league, and that's saying something because this league has some receivers. Yeah,
no, it does. And if they can line up and play man free every snap and don't pass anything off, they're going to play. They better start playing some match. All right, Neal, NFL, you ready to roll?
Yep.
All right. Neal, National Football League. I'll start it off. I'm starting it off on Sunday morning at 8:30 with a little tea and crumpets. Last week, the Jacksonville Jaguars played in London, and they wore out the Falcons. They did not have to travel. They stayed in London all week.
Yep.
The Buffalo Bills have to travel. Give me the team that doesn't have to travel overseas, staying at home. I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars plus the 5.5. I think this is going to be – I may even take the money line come Sunday, depending on what it is, depending on how my Saturday goes. If I got some money to play with, I think you'll get some value there. You'll probably get around plus 200 on that. So I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 5.5 in London, 8:30 Sunday morning versus the Bills.
It's going to be boring, but I'll be honest. I don't have a lot of NFL picks that struck me. This was one, so I'm going to keep it. I got Jacksonville as well, plus the 5.5.
Okay, I like it. All right, Neal. I haven't seen our guy in here today. He's not going to be happy with me. The Houston Texans.
Yep.
The fighting Chris Kiffins, my good friend.
Mm-hmm.
One of my good friends of all time, Chris Kiffin, linebackers coach for the Houston Texans. They're traveling to Atlanta, Georgia to play the Falcons. They are underdogs by 2 points somehow in this game. I have no idea what they're thinking. Atlanta's having to come back from London.
We're now getting 2.5.
We're getting 2.5. Give it to me. Give me the fighting Chris Kiffins and the Houston Texans plus 2.5 in Atlanta. Sorry, GJG.
And I know this is boring, and I apologize, but I don't have many. Like, I looked at some other games, and I'm about to play with one that I'll be more creative, but I love Houston here. I've actually watched them a little bit. C.J. Stroud's been terrific for a rookie quarterback. Give me Houston plus the 2.5.
All right. Neal, my third pick. The Philadelphia Eagles are traveling out to L.A.
Yes. This is an interesting game.
The Eagles are favored by 4.5 against the Rams. And Neal, it's too much. Oh. Give me the Los Angeles Rams plus 4.5. I think this is I think the Rams are sneaky good. They're sneaky good, man. They're
interesting.
They're an interesting team. They're sneaky good.
A little worried about Stafford, the way he came off the field
He'll
Sunday.
be all right. He'll be all right. Little tape, little total with his injury. He'll be good to go. And good chance for getting Cooper Kupp back.
Oh, well, that'd be a difference maker.
Give me the Los Angeles Rams plus 4.5 at home versus the Eagles. The Eagles have been playing with the food a little bit.
They have. They've not put a complete game together.
They're still good, though.
The New England Patriots play host to the New Orleans Saints on Sunday at noon. Two teams that are struggling offensively.
Dude,
Nice.
What's the under on this game? 14?
The over-under on this game is – I'll get an updated one because you probably now know where I'm going. It's 39.5. And as crazy as it is, I'm going under. This game has 16-13, 17-13 written all over it. Neither one of these two teams can score.
It's 39.5, really?
39.5.
Yeah,
I'm going to go under 39.5, New Orleans, New England.
That's a good bet. You know what? If you're into prop bet, anybody in the Cooper Chevrolet chat that's into prop bets, I'll tell you a good prop bet you can get this week. Derek Carr with an interception. If you can find that interception prop on him. With another week coming off his shoulder, he's going to shoot it up. It's going to get a little weaker on the road. Give me that. All right, Neal, my fourth game. The New York Jets, Jets, Jets are going to Denver, Mile High City.
Yep.
They are getting 1.5 points.
Actually getting 2.5.
Give me 2.5, Neal. Give me the Jets against the Broncos in Mile High. Give me the Jets plus 2.5. I saw some signs of life. on Sunday. Give them to me.
All right, I'm breaking another one of my rules here.
Uh-oh.
I never lay double digits in the NFL. Except I'm doing it Sunday.
I can almost guarantee you I know who you're talking about.
The Dolphins are coming off a poor performance. They're going to be motivated to play. The Giants. I mean, we talk about the Bears. We talk about the Broncos. If you want to talk about bad teams, you have to include the Giants. They are a miracle comeback against the Cardinals away from this thing being a total and complete disaster. Give me Miami minus 12 at home against the Giants. I know it's a huge number, and in the NFL, that is a big 12 might as well be 30.
Yep.
They're going to roll them.
I don't disagree with that, especially the way they've been protecting. I just hate playing the big numbers. But
I do too. I think in 2 years, it's the first time I've played a big number.
Yep. All right, Neal, my last game in the NFL. We're taking this bad boy all the way to Sunday night. The game of the year so far in the National Football League is on Sunday night. I get to listen to my girl, Carrie Underwood. She's going to do the anthem. Me and my man, Noxie, will be sitting there with our hands across our hearts, listening to Carrie Underwood while my wife backslaps me because she's pissed that I'm looking at Carrie Underwood. But right after she gets through singing, the San Francisco 49ers are going to drop the hammer on the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott will show everyone why he's Dak, king of mediocrity in the National Football League. He's going to turn the ball over. I got Mr. Rain fired up again. He's going to turn the ball over, and Brock Purdy isn't. Give me the San Francisco 49ers minus 4 points at home versus the Cowboys.
Oh, this is bad pod, but you know what? I'm trying to win a competition as well. And
are you just cutting me off here?
It's on my list. Nope. The last two games that I was trying to choose from were the Steelers plus 4, a game that I just don't like because I got to go with Kenny Pickett. And Kenny Pickett doesn't look right now. And it's got.
Is it Kenny Pickett or Matt Canada that doesn't look right?
Canada. It's 4.5 points. They're getting 4.5 at home against Baltimore. And I don't think Baltimore's great shakes either.
They are with my man Lamar Jackson on my fantasy team.
But the other game that I have is the Niners, and I'm going with the Niners minus 3.5 at home against Dallas.
3.5?
Yes, 3.5.
Give me check that Cole. Check. Give me 3.5. I'll take 3.5. I'll take a half. I'll take a hook.
Niners minus 3.5. So we got 3 NFL games we're on the same page on. We do not consult on these things. You see on my list. The other games that I had that I liked in college, by the way, I like North Texas plus 6 at Navy. I like Eastern Michigan minus 2.5 at home against Ball State. I don't hate Texas Tech minus 1 against Baylor. And if you're looking for interesting money lines, Bowling Green is plus 310. I don't hate it.
Where?
Miami of Ohio. And Utah State. I'm trying to remember who Utah State plays. Utah State's a plus 130 against I can't remember. The other one that I don't hate,
where's all this MAC love coming from, dude?
But I watched MAC some. The other one I don't hate is I don't hate Wyoming at home against Fresno.
That's tomorrow night, I believe, right?
Is that right?
Or it's a later game. It's Fox game, I think. That you like Wyoming at home versus Fresno, huh?
Just as if you're
Laramie is a tough place to play.
If you're just looking for a money line, I spend half the week looking for a money line.
Do you really?
I think it's a Saturday.
Mine was easy this week.
Yeah.
Because Colorado was favored.
Yeah, it's a Saturday game. Fresno at Wyoming. The money line is plus 195. Wyoming's a 6-point underdog at home against Fresno.
Well, that's all I got today, boss.
That's all I got too. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks to everybody for being with us all week. We will be back on Monday with another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. You know the routine. Follow them on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. Also, don't forget about Cooper Chevrolet.
Got you.
Got the trucks.
Yep. Just remember, the truck season has been extended at Cooper Chevrolet through October the 16th. This might be your last chance to get super low 3.9% financing for 72 months on new Chevy Silverado crew cabs and no payments for 90 days. Check them out at Cooper Chevrolet Buick in Anniston. To get more information, go online at cooperchevrolet.com.
See you guys Monday. Take care.